Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Nell, and if you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. Thank you for stopping by. I have been missing in hiatus for a little bit. I wanted to take a little break because, believe it or not, since December I've been giving you guys videos weekly non-stop. So I just needed a little bit of a break, and it wasn't really that much of a break. It was only like a week, but I know some of you were asking if I was okay. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's just that I needed a break. It's been so many things happening. I mean, if you go back on my videos, you'll see we had field trips, we had home visits, we had international orchid shows, what's in bloom, how to do. I mean, we covered a lot. So I decided to take a little break so I can then come back with what's in bloom, which is always my favorite, because it's always something wonderful to show you and something new and something surprising. So I'm going to see if we'll start where we usually start, because I wanted to start on the outside today to show you some of the Schomburgkias, but we'll start where we usually start. So without further ado, let's go look at some blooms. All right, guys, it's a little cloudy today and it has been raining on and off, so hopefully we can get through this without a downpour. All right, so let's start here where we originally start. Now, I was trying to think if I should have started here, because the last video I put out was my haul and I showed you guys some of these blooms. So if you guys want to see these blooms, you can go back a video and you'll see. But if you want an update of how it's looking, well, this one started spiking in the back. It's shooting more spikes and it's loving it up here. As you can see, I think it looks even better than when I bought it. I kind of brought these pieces up a little bit higher to brace them there, and it kind of got established. I cleaned it up, so she's looking beautiful. And I'm sure you guys are gonna want to know who are just tuning in, and it's a Norma Jackson. Now I know that there's mixes out there, hybrids with Norma Jackson, but I don't think the flower is the same color. So if you're looking for this color, you have to look for just a Norma Jackson. You can't, the hybrids don't really carry the tropical gene, at least from what I've heard. And then this Paphiopedilum that I got at the international show as well. Del Rossi. And it's a gorgeous one. And then this one that I showed you earlier, I wasn't going to show you these, but why not? It's a blue twist. I got this over at the Orchid Den. And then this beauty here, which is a cute little specimen. I made my own tag because the original tag was already beat up. Now I'm going to breeze through these only because I have shown them in the video before. Now, have you guys seen these cactus that shoot these beautiful, massive star-shaped flowers? These are the actual buds about to open, see? And it's very stinky. Very, very stinky. I wish it was open. I was trying to hold off a little bit to see if certain things would open, like this, which is the Greenwich Elmert. But you know what? I'm gonna take this just to show you one that's already blooming inside. That's very similar. Now here we have this gorgeous, gorgeous yellow Vanda. I love this color. It's such a happy tone. And this one is an Escasenda Ratchaburi Beauty. Here, let me. And I got this one at Banyang Orchids in Redlands, Florida. They're right off of Chrome, and for years I've been buying from them. This one, a lot of my Vandas took a hit during the cold snap. It burned a lot of the leaves, but you know, they're doing beautiful. And this one here, as far as blooms go, because see here, it lost a lot of leaves. But you know, as you can see, I'm bringing them inside. For you guys that have been following me for a while, you know that I used to keep them all out here, right? And then the only thing I kept outdoors is the Vandalier. that we made out of, but do you see how it's breaking apart? It doesn't hold well in weather. It was a fun idea while it lasted, but the wood or the bamboo or whatever it is they use, those are Pier 1 chairs. And I had 2 of them, but one just disintegrated, so this one I'm gonna have to take down as well. But yeah, I decided to put my Vandas in here because it's protected from the sap of the mango trees. It doesn't seem to like it. It makes the leaves go brown and see, like that. And also with the cold snaps, they weren't protected. This one's in bud. This is a motes, but then look at this beauty. I just bought this one. This is the JVB, the J, oh my God, I always forget the name. I don't know why I forget. I've said it so many times. Brero, B-R-E-R-O. Van Brero, Vanda J Brero or Jan Brero. I'll get it one day. But anyway, this is used a lot to cross with other orchids, and the motes have used this many, many times. So when you see the cross, J Brero, this is it. This is actually what they use. And I got this from David. If you guys haven't seen that video that I put out a couple of weeks ago at a home visit, he had the most incredible, ginormous dendrobiums on his trees that were just wow factor. But anyways, he had these and he had them for sale. And honestly, I think he's pretty much sold out of everything. Last I've heard, I think he's pretty much sold out a lot of the, like the Schomburgkias. And but if anything, you know, give him a call and find out, because I haven't spoken to him in a while, but that's what I heard. Now these are beautiful Dendrobium parishii. These are the albas, the pure white. And the fragrance on this is just delicious. All parishii have, Dendrobium parishii have the best fragrance. They're like mini anosmums. And look, she's already producing for next year. Which, if you guys go to S&W Orchids on Instagram, Jeremy, the owner, he's like a dendrobium specialist. He has a bunch of other things. He's like me. He likes to keep all kinds of things and sells all kinds of things. But when it comes to the plant world, but he has a bunch of different dendrobiums, and I think he has these, the Parishii alba, but they're just so beautiful. Oh my God, that fragrance is just, it's theirs. You know, once you smell it, you know you're in the presence of Parishii, or at least that anosmum smell. Now this is a very loving Mocara. This Mocara is always giving me flowers. And for you guys that have been following me, you know I'm not lying, because I've been showing her so much. And of course she has those colors that I love, which is that yellow and cranberry combo. And in this reference, it's the yellow that's dominating. And I have it on this pretty cool mixture of sun-loving orchids that I placed in here. It's just different types. Anyways, let's go inside. Oh, and this I did cover before, but check this out. The second, oh, I hate when I see a dead flower. The second spike. Look how beautiful this is. They look like little pigeons. And that color is just gorgeous. I love them. And I got this orchid, sorry about that. I got this orchid a while ago. Here's at OFE's. And it's interesting because it has grammatophyllum in it. And so just like a grammatophyllum, it doesn't really like to be too wet. So I try not to water it too much. That's why it's in this spot here. So that way it only gets water that falls from surrounding orchids. So guys, check the greenhouse out. There's flowers everywhere. Now, I don't know if I'm going to cover every single thing, but, and you know, when I'm watering, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to cover this one. Oh, I'm going to cover that one. But then I forget the little ones, you know, they're hiding. Now, this one doesn't bloom often, but when it does, it gives such a gorgeous bouquet. These, what I liked about these flowers, and it's almost on its way out, because it started blooming right after I did the last What's in Bloom. So it's been open for a while, but it has a glow to it, and that's what appealed to me. That on video you can't really see it. You can kind of catch some of it here, but in person it looks like it's neon. And I got this, I keep thinking I got it at RF's. I believe this was one of those on sales at RF, because that's where I keep thinking that I bought it from. Now, up here in this beautiful little presentation of flowers, we have this gorgeous beauty here that it has no name. This one I bought many, many years ago from the Redland International Orchid Show, and we're talking about probably 6-7 years ago. And I knew nothing about orchids. They were selling this Vanda for, I think it was $10, because they had a big box with a bunch of orchids that the IDs fell or got lost. So they couldn't really sell them as a specific type of Vanda. So they figured, you know what, sell them for $10 each. And I took this one and my Rincon Stylist, the one that I've shown you guys out there, that the Red Dragon. Not Rincon Stylist, my Renanthera. My God, drawing a blank. But anyway, this one, it didn't bloom for many years, and I almost gave up on it. And then finally one day, once I started getting the hang of it, it gave me this beautiful bloom, and I was like, oh my God, it's gorgeous, it's purple. And it actually has a slight fragrance. But if you guys know what this is, I don't even remember who I bought it from, because this was a while back, and I really wasn't into keeping records for my orchids. So I don't know, it's just a very pretty flower, and I put it in a Banyang pot. So then this here, this is why I wanted to take this, is actually an RLC Greenwich. I don't think it's an Elmert. I think it's just the Greenwich. I'm trying to see there, Greenwich. And I remember getting this in Ching Huang Orchids. So I got those two, and it was one of those things that they were just selling it towards the very end for like 2 for $25 or something like that. And I took this one and the other one, and then I realized that they were both pretty much the same. But this was one of those that, you know, when you see a Cattleya on a mount like that, it's because I moved her from almost death. That means that it was not doing good in my pot. And so I decided to give it a last chance in a mount. And look, it gave me this beautiful cluster. This had bloomed a long time for me. This is another one of those that I bought way before I even started the channel. But it's gorgeous, and it has a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Such a pretty flower. Now right below it, it's one that was a gift. I think this was a gift. Let me see. No, this was not a gift. I think I bought this at Smith. That's what this is. Yes. I had gotten this at Smith a while ago. And what do you guys see there? Cranberry and yellows. My favorite tones. It's a beautiful little Vanda. Almost looks like when you do watercolor painting, where the color bleeds slightly at the edges. Just very, very pretty. And then right next to it, still going strong, the Encyclia Orchid Jungle. It's such a pretty flower, this one. And guys, I tell you, the fragrance on this, it smells like baby cologne. That's all I can think of when I smell it. It reminds me of that baby cologne. If I remember what the bottle looks like, I remember what the bottle looks like. I can't remember the actual name. I'll put it there on the screen. So you guys, if you're ever around that baby cologne, smell it, and then you know that this is what this smells like. But it's really pretty. I got this over at the Mounts Park plant and orchid sale. And I bought it from the Palm Beaches Orchid Society. And guess what? It's giving me another spike. It's like, oh, you want more? I got more. All right, let's go to my little ribbon winner. Look at her. She took such a beating this year. I felt so bad for her. She lost. Look, I'm going to show you right now. You see that? You see all those spots there? You see how that looks spotty? When you guys see that on your leaves, and especially when you see that like a little coffee stain with white around it, that means you got mealybugs. So this year, since I keep mine all outdoors, it's very, very difficult to keep them free of any mealybugs. So every day I come out here and I look at my orchids, and it could happen from one day to the next. That it could be fine, and then 2-3 days later you come back and you look and it's full of mealybugs. So now during the rain and the heavy season, I do look around and I do spot spray. I don't have my spot sprayer here, but when I pass by it, I'll pick it up. I just grab it and I spot spray on the back, and I try to really, really cover the whole plant with a mixture of orthene, 7, and permatrol. And I do 1 teaspoon of each one. Actually, the 7 I increase because I realize it comes already mixed. So I do like 3 to 4 teaspoons of the 7, and because 7 doesn't really hurt your plant. If you feel it's too much, you can do a little bit less. I usually do around 3 teaspoons, but you can do 2 of those and you'll be more than fine, because it's just you want to cover everything: mealybugs, scales, thrips. So, and 7 is very good on thrips. So you can even spray straight on the buds, not on the bloom. If you're using orthene or permatrol, you only want to do 7 on the buds. So if you want to just spray for thrips, the things that kill your buds, that make them look yellow. I don't have anything because I've been really good at spraying, and I've lost very little buds this year because of that. And plants, I used to lose plants all the time because, every day's a learning curve. So I learned that if you're on top of them like that, you don't lose them. You may get some damage here or there, but you're not going to lose them. It's already raining, by the way, but it feels good. So I just got this beautiful Renanthera cross with Vanda. Kowadi. Hold on here. Let me give you it's a beautiful cross. I got this at Crewel Smith. So it's a Renanthera and a Vanda cross together. And look at what a beauty it is. I rearranged things out here, so I put this one out by the screenhouse. I felt if it has Renanthera in it, it's going to want a little bit of more sun. All right, this next to it just opened up completely. It's a beauty from Banyang's. This is called Azina. It does have a very light fragrance. And it's very vintage, the color. I love it. And you usually can tell when it's Banyang's because they have these beautiful pots. But sometimes I just buy the pots and repot things myself. So I have to remind myself, no, this is not from Banyang's. This was a repotting. And down here, I already showed this before, but look, it's still going strong. It's just starting to lose a couple of flowers, my Grammatophyllum. And I love the way this whole setup turned out. Like after I rearranged everything, it just feels very jungly. It just feels right for the plants. And I like to section things off. And this was a gift from my friend Mercedes. So Mercedes, if you're watching, look where I put her. She seems to like it here. Because she gets sun, but she doesn't get fried out in the sun. So anyways, back to the green flash. This green flash, I had it on a show that I think, was it last year's Redland already? My God, yeah, it was a year ago. So it was a Redlands 2022, and I decided to enter for the first time an orchid, and this one was like full. It was even fuller than this. This one's just starting now to put out all the spikes, but once this is all in bloom, it's going to be spectacular. And she ended up winning second place of her category, which I was very happy. I was like, little girl, we're going to enter for fun. If you don't win, we enjoy the experience. And then I got back and she had a little ribbon. But look at that, how pretty. I think that once she's completely blooming, she's going to have way more than what she had last year. And she's also shooting new shoots, 3 new shoots in the back. So she's busy this year. And I have been adding seaweed to my feeding, like Miss Mercedes told us to. Now back here I've showed you before, but let me just show you how it's progressively producing more spikes. This is my Oncidium Dancing Lady, the yellow one. And it's giving me 3 spikes. It has another one back there. Hold on. So this is one of those that, as the Cattleyas that weren't doing too well, I actually decided, okay, we're gonna put you on a mount. And boy, did she do well. And this was a mount that was specially made by Ken over at the Orchid Supply store. And it was a pretty big mount. It's a beautiful piece. And I said, I have to put something that's gonna be the perfect piece for this. And I tried different orchids. None of them really worked until I put this one here. And look at her. She loves it and giving so many new keikis everywhere. So when you guys have orchids that are not doing well and you have the outdoor space, put them on a mount like this and watch what happens. They really transform. This is another one that I had in a beautiful orange pot. It was very stylish. And little by little, it started getting root rot. So I took it out, put it up here, cut out all the bad bulbs that were rotted, and just prayed for it to do well. And it's giving me several new keikis. And and that wasn't that long. I would say 6 months ago that I did it. And look, it gave me a spike already. So that's why you see a lot of my orchids on mounts. Because when they don't do well in a pot, I just put them on a mount, on a wood mount. And you guys can reach out to the Orchid Supply store. He still sells mounts, or you can reach out to OFE's Orchid and Supplies. They also have cork mounts that are amazing. I love the cork mounts. As a matter of fact, that's one right there that I got from OFE's. And it was perfect for that because this was already mounted on a piece of wood. And so I put it on that cork and it expanded it even more to grow. So you can also do that. Now this is an Arides halotuiana, I think it's how you say it, alba. Either way, I'll put the name. I have to make a tag for this because I lost the tag, but I know what it is. This was a beautiful gift from Frank Smith, from Carl Smith, about a year ago during my birthday. I really wanted this. This blooms this beautiful spray. It's a species and blooms a beautiful spray of these white and very delicate yellow tones. And it's just the most beautiful orchid, and it smells so delicious. It's very fragrant, like citrus. So this one, once it blooms, I promise I will show you guys. But for now, look at all the inflorescence, how amazing that looks. And I'm so happy that she's doing so good, because even when I got it from Frank, it didn't have the keiki. I don't think it had the keiki. So it gave me a keiki. And from that keiki, it gave me an inflorescence. And then when I got it, it was three spikes that were open. This time it gave me 4 spikes, plus the inflorescence is 5. So I'm very happy with that one. And the Pink Princess, an update on that. Look how great that's looking. I bought this coconut post, or cocoa post. from OFE's Orchid and Supply. I think they're $15. They're not that expensive at all. And you could just put them in a pot. I would suggest to put it in a deep pot like this one. If you're gonna put it in a small pot, it may topple over. So I had to put it in a deep pot like this so it didn't topple over, and put enough dirt. But look, immediately the plant takes onto it. It's beautiful. And since I put her outside, she's giving me more pink. This is a brand new leaf. It's still coiling out. Look how pink it is. So they do like a lot of light. Now this I covered in the last one. I'll do it briefly. This is the Yamada because my Maxillaria tenuifolia, the regular red one, it's already gone and done, out of season. But the Yamada seems to be lasting a little bit longer because it did start a little bit later from the other one. But look at that. What a beautiful little flower. And it's already, you know, it's already starting to show signs that its life expectancy is almost gone. So these smell like coconut. They're just so delicious. It's a really, really delicious orchid. And I started doing my tags because they get lost out here. So I'm doing these belt tags. All right, so next to this beauty is this other beauty, which is my Mimi Palmer. Mimi Palmers are, to me, one of the queens of the world of the Vanda world, because there are so many hybrids mixed with this. And this, the fragrance of this is one of the top fragrances. Now, I don't have, let me see. I lost the tag. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm gonna tag this one now that it's in bloom. So I know what it is. Out there where I had the Vandas, the tags will get lost very easy. But this Vanda is just the most delicious cardamom, grapey smell in a flower. And it is a constant bloomer. Mimi Palmers like to bloom a lot, especially when you mix a Mimi Palmer with another orchid. Like I have a Mimi Palmer with a tessellata, and those will produce constant. As a matter of fact, it already has a new spike, and it just finished blooming like 3 spikes about a month ago. So they do bloom a lot. So for you guys that want those orchids that bloom year round, Mimi Palmers are a good one. Now, ones that, if you don't want to put the effort, I wouldn't really recommend, is this gorgeous. It's just starting to open. It's kind of upside down, but this is a Vandopsis parishii, not to be confused with Dendrobium parishii. And it's with an Ascasenda guachia long. Well, let me say this again. Vandopsis parishii, Ascasenda guachia long. That's the name. Anyways, to get these to bloom, you need to feed them a lot. And there's a cluster right there. Let me see. So that's going to give me a lot of flowers in a couple of weeks once it's all open. And that flower, once you grab these, you got to feed them at least weekly. If not, you're not going to get a flower out of it. It needs a lot of energy to push out that flower. So if you don't feed it, if you do it only once a month, you may or may not get a flower. It's not that easy to get them to bloom. But I do have a feeding regimen here every week, so I guess it's helped. Even though I've slowed down a little bit, I'm not feeding so rigidly like I used to. I may skip a week here and there. Now in this gorgeous bouquet right upstairs from that, and it's funny, I just realized something. Both orchids I just showed you now, the Vandopsis and this one, are from Lady Vanda. And the Vandopsis was a gift from Terry. Here, let me get you the tag. See, you can kind of tell that it comes from the same people, right? So this is from Lady Vanda as well. And this I got during an OFE's festival. It's such a gorgeous little tropical flower. This is one of the ones I say that every time I see it, I think of Hawaii. Like a luau, or just being out in the beach. It's absolutely gorgeous. Let's take this moment of silent meditation. Oh, that reminds me when I was in school. I used to do that. So here I have a bunch of spikes coming in. I have this gorgeous, here's another example. Even though this is fine, it's already been cured. You see how you can see that marking on the top? Yeah, they were here to destroy, but I caught them on time. But that doesn't mean you put your guard down. You still got to go out and check. Even the ones that are clean, I still check and say, okay, let's see, they look good, nothing there. It's just, so then they're fine. And you know, once you see that, you want to hit your plants with good nutrition. You want to fertilize them, feed them, give them seaweed is really good to straighten them. Super Thrive is also good because they take a beating with the pest. Now, this beauty here, right next to the Ploid Prize, I'm telling you, it's been so many blooming that I've had to have them like one on top of the other. But it's kind of easy because I could just go along this like a conveyor belt type of thing. Hold on, there's a military helicopter going by. All right, so this one here I bought a couple of years ago. I would say about 3 years ago, maybe 4. And we got it, I got it here locally. Laz went with me and we bought one each. And this is an Encyclia alata arrow, Chirac arrow. But I've noticed that Chirac arrows, they differ sometimes. Like sometimes this is a little whiter, you know, around here, and only the center is pink. Other times it's an even darker without stripes. So, you know, you can get variations. So this is one of those variations. And this one smells like chocolate. So I believe it has, of course, if it's Chirac, it has Cordillera in it. But this is a really, really, really generous Encyclia. It always, every year, it likes to give 2 to 3 spikes. Look at this. It has this one, and this one here in the back. And every flower is healthy and happy. It's a pretty big piece. So since you were sneaking in my frame when I was trying to show the Encyclia, this is a Vanda constylis. It's a mix of a Rincon stylus and a Vanda. And to get this, they got a very yellow, I think it was called it's called a Vanda Ploimpit prize. I think that's what it's called. This is a Vanda constylis. And what it was this very yellow Vanda crossed with a Rincon stylus that was white with little like pink dots. And they crossed those two and they got to this. Now, of course, there's been many variations of this and many different crosses. So I'm giving you sort of like the synopsis of the whole thing. That's how they got this beautiful orchid. And it's like a medium size, see? But it has such a great fragrance because it has the Rincon stylus fragrance in it, which is almost like that cardamom I talk about. But look how pretty the colors are. And this is her time to bloom. Now she'll bloom all through the summer. She'll probably, after this one, she'll probably give me one more. She doesn't grow much, as you can see. She has never really grown that much, but that's fine. I don't want them to grow too much. It's just way too much space. Now up here, look who decided to pop and say hello. This is another one of those Peloric. Now for you guys who are just tuning in, for you guys who have been listening to me for a while, you must be thinking I'm a broken record. But for you guys tuning in, and I just think it's important because I used to see flowers like this and I didn't know that that's what it was. This here, this one, and this one, these are petals that are mimicking the lip, the labellum. Now normally you don't get that. You get, let me see, let me show you. Okay, here. You would get something like this, right? You get the labellum and the 2 petals. Well, these 2 petals, when they are, I was gonna say morphed. When there's a mutation in the DNA, these 2 petals will mimic that petal. And there's different variations also of the mimicking. It could be very strong, very light. So this one's what they call a heavy pyloric. This is a heavy pyloric. And I got this from a local nursery who bought it from another nursery. Now the nursery that they got it from, of course, it makes sense, it's Joseph Wu. Now I spoke about Joseph Wu in my, I was at their booth at my international show video, part 2. And I also spoke about them in my haul, which is Joseph Wu. He is known for crossing and hybridizing and creating these beautiful, almost avatar, psychedelic looking flowers. And I love them. I am on board with all of them. So I had bought this a while back because I thought it was so strange. And lo and behold, full circle, about a year and a half later, I get to meet the wife and the daughter of the gentleman who actually created this flower. And the name Joy, by the way, I don't know if I gave you the name. Here we go, Joy, Fairy Tale Joy. Joy, I believe, is his daughter's name, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not the daughter, it's the wife. But I think they told me it was the daughter. It's just over there in the shows, there's just so much commotion and so much going on that you try to get everything, all the information, but you forget a lot of things. Now below it is a long time awaiting flower. Guys, this is the stupendous, the OG of the Florida encyclias. This is the Florida Tempenses. Check it out. I've had her for several years. Never had a bloom. I got her from Tong, from Spring Water. And this is one of those that I was dying to see bloom. I've never really you don't see them as much in the shows. Like you'll see the plant, but you'll see like two, this used to be like 2 little bulbs when I bought this, and this is the size it's gotten over a span of like 3 years. So it's a pretty slow grower. But look, it gave me 3 beautiful spikes, and it's still opening. This one's still opening, and when they open, guys, they look kind of funky. There are petals on the back. Let me see if I can capture it. The petals on the back right here, they look, I thought it was going to be like that, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. But then as it started aging, I started noticing that it folds down, but it ages very slowly, which means probably the flower is going to last a little longer than others. But you see that compared to that, but then they all end up looking like these were the first ones that opened. So they're all folded out. But what a beautiful, beautiful, fragrant little species. And I do have to tag her. But I'm so glad that I put her in this wood lane like this. Because once I did this, it was a magic moment. I started seeing it really grow strong. All right, guys. I'm a little bit, I don't know if it sounds in my voice, I feel a little bit overwhelmed because I haven't been doing this for a couple of days now, and I got a little bit comfortable, and I actually had to come out here, and everything looks clean. I mean, we had a really bad storm come through here. Some people got tornadoes cross through their properties. I think even Blanca, she had that. I had it last year with a twister and what are those things called? The ice things. Hail. Hail to the queen. I had hail, and the twister crossed through here and went west towards the Everglades, and I was stuck in there. I couldn't get out, and everything was just shaking. It was scary. It was really scary. And after it was all said and done, the crazy thing is that all the ice melted. If I wouldn't have been here, I'm sorry, I'm opening the. If I wouldn't have been here, I would have never known what happened, because it didn't leave a trace. All right, guys, I'm gonna take you guys inside my other little nursery. Here's where I keep things that are a little more sensitive for you newbies that haven't been in this area. And I keep a lot of my phals. Now look who finally opened again. I was so happy to see this. This is my Epicattleya cochleata. Now, I always would confuse these with encyclias, like, not because I thought they were encyclias. I would say, are they encyclias or Epicattleas? So I will always put the name underneath when it's corrected. So I may say something wrong, but I will always correct myself and put it underneath. So here, this little bugger here, I call it the octopus orchid. Because it just looks like a little octopus, like a bunch of little octopi swimming in the water. And I had one a while back, and it used to bloom for me all the time. And unfortunately, I realized that being out in the rain was not a thing that it enjoyed very much. And who knows, maybe if you put it in a mount, it may work. But it likes very humid environments, but it does not like to sit in water. So I brought her in here, and I put her just like that in the little plastic pot it came in. I have not even touched it. So I'm trying to see how well it does in here. Now here I have a flower that just opened about a day or two ago. I got this recently. I don't have the name of the vendor. I wish I did. They were very nice people from Brazil. It was during the show over at Mount Gardens, and it was towards the end. I don't think I was filming anymore. Maybe I was. Yeah, I think there's a small segment of it, and I should have taken their name. But anyways, I bought 2 of these, $25 each, and look what it's produced already. And I like getting 2s and putting them together because they look very pretty. See how they grow out? That one's been there for a while. Those are Bellina, the wildfire one. Now this here, Laz gave me. I don't know if you guys remember this from Crowell Smith. This is a Phalaenopsis cross hybrid that they made that actually won an FCC. It's a serious deal, this flower. And it has a beautiful bergamot fragrance. And Laz gave me this for my birthday last year. And look, she shot another spike because she had this spike, and it's almost like inflorescence. It'll keep shooting flowers on the end of the spike. Like when these die, it'll probably shoot some more on the end of the spike. At least that's how I was doing it when I first got it. So this is the second time it blooms for me, as far as like after it took a break, because it did bloom for a long time. Now these have already shown, so I'm not going to talk about these because it's going to be too long of a video. If you guys want to see these, go to my haul video. I talk about all of these. This one's already losing the flowers, so you'll get to see a better version of that. So let's go down here where my zygopetalums are blooming. Guys, look at these beauties. Look at them. And I realize zygopetalums here with me, it's been a challenge. You know, the leaves they do bloom a lot for me. Let me give you, this came from Accent Orchids. Debbie DeMello, Honolulu Baby. And the fragrance on this is gorgeous. What a great fragrance on this flower. And I bought this at the Tamiami Festival about, I would say, right before the pandemic, 2019. And I've had it ever since. It's been blooming for me so much. It's probably, I would probably say this is my favorite zygo flower. Of all the ones that I've had, I would say this is my favorite. It has such a deep color and such a beautiful fragrance. But then right next to it, there's this zygo that is in the scene right now. It's the zygo that you're seeing everywhere. It's the bluebird, Zygonesia. Hold on, bluebird. Zygonesia cynosure bluebirds. And they seem to really like it in here because it's more of that tropical environment. And I almost missed it because they were back there. And I noticed the colors. I'm like, hey, you got to come up front. If not, I'll miss you. Now here are one of my favorite fragrance. I've shown you guys this before. It's such a tiny flower that you wouldn't think much of it. This is a Mormolica rufescens. Here. And this I got over at Ecuagenera. Now, I've already talked about the fragrance of this. It's exactly as if you were to open a can of the Dutch sugar butter cookies, you know, that blue can, and just took a good whiff inside. That's what this smells like buttery, sugary cookie. You would never think that this flower would smell like that. Now, this plant I've had for quite a while. I would say a good 3-4 years. I think this was the very first thing I bought from Ecuagenera years ago. But I have never been able to keep this orchid. I've put it in every environment I can think of. And look, it's constant. It'll grow a new leaf, and then shortly after, it gets burnt and dies. I don't know if that's part of how it is. I have tried everything, and it just doesn't, it blooms for me all the time. It's a generous bloomer, but I don't know what that's all about. Now behind me is the very popular and gorgeous bulbophyllum, the Jim Clarkson. Now, why is Jim Clarkson so popular? Because guys, if you don't like bulbophyllums because of their smell, this is one you will love. It has the most beautiful fragrance. It's actually a delicious smelling bulbophyllum, and it's a gorgeous flower. Look at the shape of that. And this comes from none other than Crowell Smith. Most of my bulbophyllums come from there. Let me see if I can tell you what the fragrance. It's like it's floral. It's like a floral sweet fragrance. But it's just such a great flower. If you guys don't have one of these, you can order them online. They do sell these. They have a lot of these. These are one of their top sellers. And last time I was there, I did see a lot. But you know, like I've told you before, once it gets popular and people start buying them, once they go, then it takes a long time to, restart from seedlings and getting them to grow and then ready for market. So if you like something and you really want to keep it in your collection, don't hesitate. That's what I stopped doing. I don't hesitate anymore. Let me just show you this real quick. This beautiful chocolate antler that I got from here. Excuse me. Here the lighting is not as good for the phone. For me, it's great, but for the phone and these little, I'm surprised it's even. I got these from Udeli's Orchid. And this one is just constantly shooting spikes. It's shooting this one. I saw another spike around there somewhere. Maybe it was, oh no, it was this one over here. This one shot a spike recently. All right, I think that's it for now here that I can show you. I don't have anything else aside from a little review on all the aeroids I've been buying. Look how beautiful they're doing, guys. Remember this one when I potted it? For you guys that have been following me from back then, look, with the red that I said, oh, it looks like a watermelon. If you go back at my repotting, I think there was only 2 leaves. It's really, really happy in there. But this space is getting a little too tight. But yeah, see, these are all the ones I repotted. This one here, that one back there. So this one took a hit because I waited too long. This is, well, I can't remember the name of this one right now, and I'm not even gonna try. Oh, hey, Morris. I didn't see you, buddy. How you doing? Who's behind me? All right, guys. Come on, Morris. I'm going to close up, bud. Come on. All right. Anything else? Let me see. A little walkabout here. Oh, wait. Let me see. There's something in here. This is where I prep everything. Right in here. Look at this cutie patootie. I've been putting a lot of my Vandas in here and they seem to really like it. Because I have one of those plastic ceilings here. Let me see. See, there's the sun right there. I have to clean it up. Leaves get caught up there because I have a screen. But it gets a lot of bright light, sunlight here without the UV rays. And look, it gave me this gorgeous flower. And I recently just bought this from Gemini Orchids from my friend Rachel. You know, oh, here it is. This is a Vanda. I said it wrong last time. I don't want to say it wrong again. I don't know if it's Jay Mullen or Jan Mullen. But anyways, I'll correct myself under the editing. But it's so cool because when it opened crispy white with a pink lip. And I was like, wait a minute. When I bought this, it was in bloom and it didn't look like that. And I was like, what's going on? I thought it was like in the Matrix, a glitch in the Matrix. And I kept on looking at the tag and I'm saying, yeah, this is the one, because I remember Jim and I laughing about saying that pink and green is the new black, and I really like this Vanda. We're talking about this Vanda. So I'm like, why is it white and pink? Well, it ages from white to yellow to a greenish, like a key lime color. So that's super cool. That was really cool. I had no idea. All right, oh my God. The humidity factor today is spiking up. Let me see if I have anything else. Well, these beautiful dendrobiums. These are called Lori Mortimers. I got this with Laz at the flea market years ago. Actually, he was telling me, he was here the other day and he was telling me, didn't we get these at the flea market? I go, yeah. He goes, isn't it crazy how we remember? Like, after all these years. It's a beautiful dendrobium. Now over here in the garden, it's almost out. These Myrmecophilas, Schomburgkias. This is by far my favorite color in the Schomburgkia flowers that I've seen. It has those tropical colors that I love. It is so pretty. I'm trying to see if it's trying to focus on the tree actually. Let me see. Boy, it's really not. Yeah, guys, sorry. You saw how much I tried. So anyways, this one here is the Tibicinis. Boy, we're really, as far as problems with the phone, today is an award-winning day for that. There we go. Wow, it doesn't want to focus on the tag, doesn't want to focus on the flower, doesn't want to focus on anything. So anyways, that's this flower, and it's already lost about 3 spikes. It gave about 6 spikes this year. How pretty that is. And from the old spikes, they got pollinated. You get a seed pod, you get a seed pod, you get a seed pod. It gave me a lot of seed pods. So there's been a lot of pollination going on. Now, I was talking about my red dragon, Renanthera. This is what I was talking about. Oh, there's my buddy. You guys know that that big lizard right there has been here for about a year and a half now. I've seen him grow. He hangs out by the outside and eats all the little bugs, but doesn't touch my orchids. So I've already told them, you know, you guys are cool as long as you don't touch the flowers. You touch the flowers, you're out of here. Look at this gorgeous red dragon. And as you guys following me know, it's been open for a while. So that's a big perk. You know, they last for a long time. They love to be out in the sun. They love to get their nice little tan. Gorgeous. All right, I think I am done, guys. Wait until you see when I turn this camera on. I am schwitzing. I'm sweating so much. Anyways, let me see you on the flip side. Guys, I almost forgot. She just bloomed for me. This is a Cattleya Landate. I also got this at Crowell Smith a long time ago. Let me see, here's a... That's the name. Look at the freckles on this beauty. Is that not beautiful? This was one of those Cattleyas I told you guys. When they do bad, put them on a mount. You will be pleasantly surprised. This one hadn't bloomed in over, I would say, 3 years maybe. And look, put her on a mount and voila! Look at all those gorgeous freckles. And yes, she is very fragrant. All right, I think that now for real, I'm done. All right, guys, that is it. It's starting to thunder. I think we got it right on time before getting hit by the big rains because it's turning gray really fast. I hope you enjoyed the segment. I was trying to cover as much as possible because there's still more to show, but I figured, you know, let's leave a little bit for later on. If not, then we have nothing else to show for later. So anyways, guys, it is a little bit quiet now. There aren't a lot of shows. I know I got a lot of things for you in the past few months because there was a lot of things out there, but things have kind of quieted down. So if you don't see me, you know, as often, I'm okay. It's just that I'm trying to do things now that I can take advantage of before the season gets busy again. So that's why you probably will see a little break here and there. But anyways, I like to thank, first of all, I like to thank all of you for keeping my channel alive and giving me so many wonderful comments and amazing subscription influx. I mean, more so than ever. And I want to celebrate today with my very first episode that reached over 100,000 views. So that thank you to you guys, because that's the only way that can happen. And I'm very humbled and very thankful that I can say that today, because I never thought, honestly, that I would be saying 100,000. That's just beyond my comprehension that many people have watched. And if you want to know the episode, it was a Crowell Smith episode that I did in the last open house, which was absolutely spectacular. It is amazing. And there's some more things coming up ahead in the future with Crowell Smith. I cannot say yet what it is, but let's just say you guys are going to want to visit there a lot. There's going to be some things coming down the pike that are amazing and mind-blowing. And it's not just orchids. So guys, I'll leave it at that because I'm not at liberty of saying anything else. And I hope I didn't get in trouble for saying this much. But anyways, I got that. And what else? Oh, Thank you so much for you guys that have not been skipping the ads. I've seen a substantial difference. It really does make a difference. I've been doing this. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I've been watching like my friends' videos, and I watch them, you know, by skipping the ads. And then when I'm done watching, I play it again and I leave it playing. I leave the ads and everything in, so that way it gets an opportunity with the ads. But since I don't want to be like there, you know, like waiting for each commercial, I just skip through them, and then the second time I just play it when I'm at home. And honestly, sometimes I end up watching the ads because some of the ads are really good. They have some really cool stuff, but some of them are like so non-relatable. But anyways, if you want to do that, maybe that's a way of escaping from having to sit there and watch the ads. Just play the episode by itself, for a ghost, for your cats and dogs. I definitely want to thank you guys who donated to my super thanks. That's really, 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 really kind of you. I always get like mind blown when I see that on the thing, like somebody would actually donate to my channel. That to me, it just means so much. It really does. It means a lot because it helps me pursue better episodes and do more things, because like I said, just traveling, the tickets, the expenses, the gas and food, it gets so pricey after, you know, for a while there, it's coming out of pocket. So all that little bit does help a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? I'm going to put them right here. I'm going to put all the people who donated, because you deserve a shout out. That was very kind of you, and I will always be thankful. So thank you, and I celebrate with you guys this wonderful 100,000 views. All right, guys, that is it. I'm trying to say things, but it's raining. I don't know if you can see it. It's already starting to rain. So, and the birds are chirping because it's raining. All right, so I'm trying to see what the time is. I don't have my glasses. I will see you guys next time. I do not know where I'm going to see you. Like I said, it's been quiet, so I may see you at an OFE show. I may see you at a nursery. I've been thinking about doing some visits, or I may see you at a home visit. I don't know yet. But until next time, I am Nelson. You have been watching Nature Nell, and remember to always, always keep it green. See you next time.